This is what we're building. It's a mini basketball game and it works like a catapult, and I'm gonna make it 2 players, and you press back, the spring compresses, and you try to make it into the basketball hoop. So let's get started. I found some wood that was already pre-cut, and all I have to do is attach the base right now, and these are all separate pieces of wood, and I'm just gonna throw 2 pieces of wood right there and then screw it down to each board, and then I'll get back to you guys. My heart is So I got the 2 pieces cut out, and now I'm gonna pre-drill some holes. I'm gonna do 4 holes to hold each piece of wood. Then I'm gonna throw some screws in there. So let's get started. So I'm gonna glue this piece of wood down with some wood glue, and I'm going to put the screws in just to add some extra strength. So as you see, the screws are sticking out, so I'm gonna get a piece of wood and just throw it in like that so the screws can screw into this and they're not gonna be sticking out. I know I could grind these down or just with the file them down, but I'm putting this piece of wood because when the ball slides down, it's gonna slow it down a little bit, so it's not gonna go straight down onto the floor. So I went and got a longer screw because these shorter ones I was using, they would go in and then they would just start stripping on the inside, and they wouldn't grab the wood well. So as you see, this one's much thicker, so it should grab the wood much better. And as you see, I did one and it's holding very well, and it's not stripped, and it's sticking out a little bit. It's sticking a tiny bit, but you can barely see it, and I can easily just sand it down a little bit. The 2 springs that I'm going to be using to catapult the basketball, and they're going to be sitting about there. Now I just need to make the little thing that's going to hold the basketball, and the basketball is going to be sitting around here, and then you're going to press it back, the spring's going to compress, and then it's going to shoot the basketball into the... So I got the piece of wood, and it's going to be sitting about here, but I'm gonna cut this one in half, and then I'm gonna have 2, and I'm gonna have to screw it down around here so it's gonna stand still, and then it's gonna have this compression right here. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, so I just cut these 2 pieces of wood, and they're going to be sitting about there with the spring under, and the next step is going to be putting a screw through right here so it holds it down, and then you can just press it down right here. But I might have to move it over a little bit so it's not in this channel, so it doesn't go through there. So I'm going to move it a tiny bit to the side and then screw it down, and same thing with this side. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, so I got the little catapult done for one of the sides, and it works pretty well, but when you press down, the whole thing comes up. But if you hold it right here and shoot it, it does shoot. And I got a drill bit on a Dremel and screwed it on, and then I just did an outline of the square, and then I used this sanding bit to just sand it down to get this like perfect dip. And as you see, it shoots pretty far, and I think it's gonna be perfect for shooting in the hoop. Alright, so I'm gonna do exactly what I did on this one, just on this side, and then I'll get back to you guys. So I have finished the other side, and now the next step is to make this little groove again into this one. And like I said, I got a drill bit and put it in the Dremel and just made a square outline, and then took out the middle of it a little bit, and then I went with this sander and just sanded it inside a little bit, and that's why it came out like this on this one. So I'm gonna do that on this, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so the next step is gonna be putting some walls on the side like this, and same thing on the other side, and then I'm gonna throw a piece over here, and I'm gonna glue these down because I have nowhere to screw them down. All the wood is super thin and I can't put a screw in there, so I'm just gonna glue them on the side and see how they hold up. So I have put some wood glue in there, but I know that's not gonna be enough to hold it, so I'm gonna get a hot glue gun and put some hot glue in the corners right there, and that should be able to hold it very well. Alright, so I have gotten both sides done, and now I'm gonna throw this side on, and I'm gonna hot glue it just like I did both of these sides, and then I'm gonna have to make it 2 lengths long so it's taller, because if the ball can go over this easily. So I'm just gonna make it 2 of these tall, and then we'll go from there. Alright, this is as far as I got today. So tomorrow I'm going to continue this project and hopefully finish it tomorrow. So I've gotten this wall up and the 2 sides, and finished the 2 little launcher things, and I got the base done. I like how the base has the pattern of the light and darker wood, and it's all hot glued in the corners and stuff. And tomorrow I'm gonna put the basketball hoops up, and then hopefully be able to try it out by tomorrow and get some bouncy balls or some kind of like balls in here so I can shoot them in. So see you guys. Alright, the next step is going to be building the basketball hoops, and I'm going to be using these 2 pieces of wood, and they're going to be up like this. Now I just need to make the hoops themselves and hook them up. Alright, to build the hoop, I'm going to get a bigger hole saw and a smaller hole saw, drill out a piece of wood, and then inside that piece of wood drill it out with the smaller one, and then make the hoop. what I'm gonna do to hold the hoop onto the post is I'm just going to get the hoop and hot glue it to the post, and that should be enough to hold it on there pretty tight. So I'm gonna make a little backboard for each of these little hoops, and I'm gonna cut the wood to size, and that's about how it's gonna look. And that's just so the ball can hit the backboard and just bounce in. So let's get started. So I have both backboards done, and they're gonna be sitting about here and here. I'm just gonna drill through and put these tiny screws in. I might do 4 just to hold it on there tight. And yeah, let's get started. As you see, I have put the 4 screws in. I'm going to do the same for the other hoop, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so I got both hoops done, as you see. Now the next step is going to be mounting them up, and then you should be able to use it. Let's get started. Alright, the next step is going to be mounting the basketball hoops up. And to do this, I'm going to pre-drill some holes right there, maybe 2 of them, and then another 2 on the other one, and just use the same screws I used for the backboard, and yeah. Alright, as you see, I have mounted up the basketball hoop, and I'm going to do the same for the other side over here, and yeah. And just like that, you got yourself a little basketball game that you can play with family and friends. It's pretty easy to build, and I hope you try this yourself at home. And thank you for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed. And post in the comments what you want me to build next, and yeah, thank you.